Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here at grillingjr.com. We are joined by the one and only, the Hall of Famer himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Ross is here, and he's going to be giving us an update as to what's been going on. I think this will be the first time that we've actually heard from Jim post his surgery, and we're going to hear from him how he's doing and also get his take on AEW Grand Slam Mexico and just all the crazy news that's happening in wrestling. Of course, it feels like all eyes are on Arlington right now as we are just less than a month away from AEW All-In. Of course, it'll be AEW's first stadium match here in America. Tickets are on sale now at Globe Life Field at AEWTIX.com. Of course, StarCast is happening that weekend on January 11th and 12th, and bracelets are on sale now at StarCast.com. That's STARRCAST.com. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Good old JR. Jim, we're so glad to see you, man.
Good to see you guys.
We can't wait to hear how you're feeling. You know, this is the first time we've heard from you, in person on camera post surgery. What's going on? Catch us up.
Just healing, man. Just trying to heal and get better. And that's kind of my goal right now. Take a day at a time. And so it's all good. I'm feeling pretty good, actually.
Well, you look good. You sound good. What's the prognosis? I mean, were you given any sort of positive update? Do they feel like, I don't know the terminology, did they get it all? I mean, do we have a good feeling in that regard?
Yeah, I had a meeting with my surgeon earlier this week. He's very happy, which makes me very happy. So I'm sore from the surgery. My abdomen is real sore. But I've endured worse, and so I'm feeling pretty good, actually.
Man, we're seeing comments here live that you're looking and feeling and sounding good. Fans are just excited to hear that you made it through this. I mean, I know this had to be pretty traumatic and pretty stressful. Do you feel like it's all behind you now, or do you still feel like you're on the mend, or how are you feeling as far as progress?
Progress is good. I believe they got all the cancer, which is great. So, I'm very blessed in that regard. I was scared to death for a while, I have to be honest with you, because it's just it's that mysterious thing that you don't know how did they get everything they needed to get? Are we okay? But I have a real good surgeon. He's taking good care of me. And so I'm very blessed in that regard, Connie.
Are you under the impression that it's a downhill stretch at this point? I mean, do you have follow-ups every week or every month, or when do you think you'll be like feeling back to normal and it's back to business of being good old JR?
I got about 30. I have a doctor's appointment in about 30 days. But I am under the belief that the worst is behind me, and I'm feeling pretty good, as I said, all the way around, other than the soreness. But they got meds for soreness, and I'm taking my share of them, quite frankly. So, but I'm doing okay. I think I got lucky as hell.
Man, we're so glad to hear that, and I got to tell you, I'm just grinning ear to ear because you do look and sound great, man. And I know you and I have been on the phone, and we've certainly been texting a bunch, but actually getting to see and hear you, man, I think everybody's got a big sigh of relief this morning. We love our Uncle Jim, man.
Well, good. Uncle Jim loves them too. The outpouring of support has been nothing short of extraordinary, and it really makes me feel good. So I know that people care about me, and they know that I care about them, and all the support that I've been given is pretty amazing.
I do want to ask, before you went in for surgery, we sort of stated a goal that, man, we hope that you could kick cancer's ass, and knock on wood, it looks like you've done that. And we had a stated goal of, hey, we want to try to be at AEW's first stadium show. That's about 3.5 weeks away now at this point. I guess it's 3 weeks away. We're sitting here recording on Friday, June 20th. That's going to be, of course, on Saturday, July 12th. Is that a little too ambitious, do you think, to think that we might see a JR sighting in Arlington?
No, I don't think it's too ambitious. I think it's realistic. I'm hopeful that that's what happens. You know, I'd love to be a part of that event and see the fans and see the talents. You know, I miss the talents a lot. You know, I've been kind of isolated here at home, and between that and my doctor's appointments. So it's just one of those things, man, where you don't expect to ever get cancer, and I sure as hell didn't expect to get it. And the colon cancer is serious business, and I'm just glad I came through it without any complications, and I'm very blessed in that regard, Conrad. I don't want to sound too sentimental or too goo gaga, whatever Pat Patterson used to say, but I'm feeling pretty good actually. So I hope to make it to Texas. My plan is to be there, so we'll have to kind of wait and see. I'd love to show up and do a match or two.
Oh man,
that'd be cool. So we'll see. I don't want to get too ambitious, but my plan is to be there and to participate. I want to play. I want to get back in the game somehow, some way, and contribute to the success of AEW and your big event. So that's kind of where I'm sitting.
Fingers crossed, man. We're all pulling to see JR back doing what he loves behind the announce desk, the real voice of wrestling. And you got a stamp of approval. I don't know that you saw this, but Dave Meltzer has made it public. Quote, I already wrote this in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, but I haven't said it anywhere else. We are going to name the Best Announcer Award going forward, starting with this year, the 2025 award, the Jim Ross Award, because he won 13 times, and it's just time to give him that thing as he won it more than anybody else by far in history. How cool is that? The Wrestling Observer naming the Announcer of the Year award the Jim Ross Award. That's pretty cool.
That's very, very cool. I'm very, very blessed, very honored to have that happen. I've been following Meltzer's work forever, it seems like, since my days working for Cowboy. Cowboy Bill was the guy that introduced me to Meltzer, and Bill took a lot of pride and had a lot of faith in Dave's opinion. And let's not forget, it is an opinion, but it's a valued opinion in my view. So it's pretty cool. I wasn't aware of that. So that's news to me, and it's good news. So thanks for sharing it.
Speaking of announcers, we are live on YouTube, and you never know what kind of question we're going to get. Brent Barnett is with us here live, and he says, Jim, continuing to pray for your health. I recently finished reading Bret Hart's book, and he speaks highly of an announcer for Stu's territory named Ed Whalen. Any stories working with Ed?
I never worked with Ed, but I know that he was very prominent in that territory and had a great reputation. He was a real basic, down-to-earth kind of guy, had a lot of his own cliches and colloquialisms. So, but if Bret Hart stamps his approval on Ed Whalen, that's good enough for me.
We all enjoyed a great episode of AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. We saw AEW do their first live show from Arena, Mexico. What a treat it was to see AEW do what they called Grand Slam Mexico, that historic Arena Mexico venue. I would have loved to have heard you on the call. I'm thankful we got Tony Schiavone there. It was sort of a bucket list deal. Have you ever been to Arena Mexico?
Yeah, I have. I've been there a couple of times. I was there when we signed, when WWE signed Mystico.
Okay.
I went down for a press conference to welcome him on board. I haven't been there a lot. I certainly am familiar with it, but it was a good. It was a great experience. The fans are passionate. The building's got great history and tradition, and I love that kind of environment.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the press conference you did with WWE back in the day there with Mystico. Man, I kind of forgot that even happened. Did you get a chance to catch Dynamite from Arena Mexico this week? And if so, what'd you think?
I was in doctor's care, so I didn't get to see the whole thing. So, but I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was very cool. It's very ambitious. So, but I enjoyed what I saw of it. I liked, and I think the talents probably got a big kick out of it because it was a new environment, uh, new surroundings. So it was kind of neat in that regard. So all good, man. All good.
Super fun exchange we saw between MJF and Mystico. It looks like MJF was really getting some heat in Mexico. There was even a report, Jim. I don't know if you saw this, but some fans actually found him at the hotel, none too happy that he unmasked Mystico and threw the hood on. He was disrespectful to Lucha Libre, and man, those fans took it personally. I know that that's not safe, and we're not encouraging that, and that's not cool, but I don't know. Part of me, that makes me smile a little bit, right?
Well, it's good that a villain has heat.
Yes.
That's kind of what they're supposed to do. And MJF is easy to dislike. I said that once a long time ago about Paul Heyman. I said, God damn, you're easy to hate. And I meant that in a good way, in a complimentary way. And I think he took it that way. But that's what villains are supposed to do. They're supposed to not be popular. They're supposed to have angst and create animosities. And so MJF does a real good job of accomplishing that, it seems to me like.
Of course, they're all building towards a big collision course, or so it seems. A lot of these stars are going to be at the All-In show. You got to think, All-In being less than a month away, the headliner is definitely what everybody's talking about. Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Title. Of course, we know the women are going to be hooking it up for the Women's World Title. We're talking Timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné, certainly the two biggest female stars in AEW over the last year or so. But perhaps the one that you've got circled because you've been able to see these up close and personal, and what a event it's going to be. We're going to unify two titles, the international title and the continental title, for the first time on American soil. And how fitting that they saved it for their first stadium show here in America. Okada Omega. This was a match you once compared to a modern Steamboat Flair trilogy, but now we're seeing one in AEW on American soil. It's July 12th, Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field. This is something fans want to see in person, don't you think, Jim?
Oh, absolutely. I do. As a fan, I want to see it in person as well. So it's a match I'm looking forward to. I'd love to call it, to be honest with you, to be selfish. I'd love to call it, but time will tell on that decision. But we'll find out when we get there, I guess.
I think that's what everybody wanted to know. Aaron Sheen just a few minutes ago said, is Omega Okada a match you want to call?
Hell yeah.
I remember when you had just recently called those. I think you and I know you had just done a show at Zany's. That was it in Nashville. And we went to the Palm after, and you told me that, you held that match in the highest regards. I mean, is there a risk there? Do you think? I mean, on some level, when fans have these really, really high expectations, it's and I'm not saying they won't deliver, but I'm saying it adds so much more pressure, doesn't it, Jim?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's a pressure cooker, and these guys we're depending on them to deliver. Pardon me, and I think they will without question. They're two high motivated, talented talents, and I think that they'll come through with flying colors. At least that's my expectation, and I'd love to be a part of that presentation.
I do want to also mention that since you and I have talked, it's become clear that WWE is doing their best to counter program AEW's All-In weekend. They're doing a Saturday night's main event that same night. That is actually what I believe.
Are you surprised?
I'm not.
Me neither.
So AEW moves it to the afternoon, their All-In affair, and WWE counter programs that with a Great American Bash from NXT. That'll be heads up. But later that night, once the final bell has sounded at Globe Life Field, Saturday night's main event is going to feature something that we predicted several weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago now at this point. Goldberg's last match. It's going to be him and Gunther for the world title. He's 58 years old. There's been lots of discussion about this. I mean, I know that fans online have been critical. and they've said, oh, he's too old and oh, yada, yada, yada. But I do think from a mainstream perspective, there will be some curiosity here. I don't know what we expect. I don't expect it to be a long match, but Gunther Goldberg for the world title. What do you think here, Jim?
Well, it's intriguing. It's very marketable. I'm a big fan of Gunther. I've known Bill Goldberg since he played high school football at Tulsa Edison High School in Tulsa. If they keep it short and succinct and tell a very compactful story, I think they'll pull it off just fine. If they try to go too long and try to put in too much time, they may be flirting with a little bit of disaster there. So time management of a match like that is all important. So I think I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I'm a big Gunther fan, and I don't know what Goldberg's got left in the tank. I don't know how ready he's going to be physically and emotionally and all that good stuff. But he's an athlete, and I think he'll do just fine, quite frankly.
I think the entire world is wanting to see what's next for Goldberg, but we're all hopeful that that day we're hanging out with you in Arlington. Make plans to join Jim Ross, myself, and the rest of the wrestling world for AEW All-In. It's going to happen as an afternoon opportunity. I love these afternoon shows. I hope this becomes a thing. It's AEW All-In Texas, Saturday, July 12th, Globe Life Field. Tickets are on sale now at AEWTIX.com. And as I mentioned at the top of the program, we're turning it into a whole week. You know, you've got AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, Collision on Thursday, StarCast and a Ring of Honor pay-per-view on Friday, and then StarCast, AEW All-In, and then a little more StarCast on Saturday. That's like a wrestling fan's dream come true week right there, is it not, Jim?
Oh yeah, you're not going to lack for anything to do, that's for sure. So something for everybody, and I like that. It gives the fans several reasons to want to attend and to be a part of it. So let's hope everybody shows up, has fun, and let's just see where it lands.
We're got a big Texas theme this year, Jim. I know you're not necessarily the biggest Texas fan, being an Oklahoma guy, but we can all appreciate the Texas wrestling history. And I don't know if you've had a chance to see, Jim, but we've got Kevin Von Erich and Dory Funk and Stan Hansen and John Layfield all announced as being part of All-In Texas when it comes to the StarCast opportunity, StarCast weekend, where you can meet all your favorite wrestling legends. But when you think about Texas wrestling history, I mean, that's like a who's who. That's almost like a Mount Rushmore of family names there, is it not?
Yeah, and you think about the Von Erichs, they're really of course, Dory Jr. was an international star, but the Von Erichs kind of landlocked in Texas. And but that's a good crew you mentioned there. Layfield is as Texas can be, and so sometimes he's hard to handle because he loves Texas, and I don't. I'm only kidding. It's a pro wrestling storyline. But Stan Hansen, one of my all-time favorites. I remember when I brought Stan into WCW back in the day.
Yeah.
On the heels of a big match he had with Vader. So I love Stan. He's what wrestling should be. Hard-nosed, straightforward, honest. Gives the fans their money's worth every single time. So that's a great crew right there. That crew right there, to see those guys, because you don't know, like in my own situation, how many more times we have the opportunity to see people, illness. This is the nature of the beast, and none of us are getting any younger. So it should be a hell of a weekend. I can tell you that. But I didn't realize, pardon me, how many of those legends are going to be there. But I couldn't ask for any more than we've got advertised. It's a great crew, and who knows when we'll see them again. So take advantage of this opportunity, folks. You won't regret it.
Jim, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least bring it up. I'm sure you've at least heard about it, but Have you spoken with Ric Flair since you've had your health issues or challenges?
I have not, actually. I heard he was a little under the weather too.
Yeah, he's battling skin cancer right now. Yes, sir.
Terrible. I've had that, so I know what he's going through. But I haven't spoken to Rick. He called me early on when I was diagnosed. He called me, left me a message, which was nice of him. But I haven't spoken to him at length since that time.
I think there is a perception out there that you and he are cross, and as best as I understand it, that is not the case, correct?
No, not at all. I don't know where that came from. It's just people wanting to dig up shit and gossip and things of that nature. But no, I have no agenda, negative or positive with Rick. He knows I love him. He knows I respect him. I call some of his greatest matches, which I feel honored to do. So no, he and I are fine as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's interesting how the narratives online can sort of go wild sometimes, but sometimes there's not much to it. In real life, guys are guys. No big deal.
No big deal at all. And I have great respect for Rick for what he's accomplished and all those things. So no issues at all, Connie. Quite frankly, it's been all serious. I have no issues with nature whatsoever. I just hope he gets healthy and feels good. And the pro wrestling needs Ric Flair.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man.
He's a big part of the fabric of our business. And I just hope that if he has a skin cancer, that it's addressed and controlled. It can be. I still got an issue on my ankle that I've had for I don't know how long. So it can be addressed, and let's hope that that's what's happening for him.
We briefly want to address and thank CarGurus for sponsoring Grilling JR. They've started advertising with us once JR actually started battling his cancer diagnosis, and they've hung with us through this process. We greatly appreciate their support, and I want to brag on them for a bit. Making a big purchase should come with confidence, not confusion. And CarGurus helps you cut through the noise, showing you the best deals and in-depth vehicle details so you can feel confident about your purchase. Because when it comes to your big deal, you really do deserve the best deal. And CarGurus will actually connect you with trusted dealerships when you're ready, ensuring a transparent and hassle-free buying process. And with over 4 million listings, CarGurus has more car listings than any other major online automotive marketplace in the United States, so you can find the best deal. CarGurus gives you the control to shop how you want to shop with the tools, information, and data-driven deal ratings that you need. So it's no wonder that SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows CarGurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site, and it is a daily visit for me. I love looking at cars. I love CarGurus. Go check it out. You're going to dig it. Buy or sell your next car today with CarGurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com, CarGurus.com. Jim, there's a lot of other news going on in wrestling. I don't know that you've seen, but Vince McMahon's name was everywhere in the last week or so. Nick Khan found himself on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. And when the subject of Vince came up, Nick said something like, "I have only admiration for Vince." And Stephanie quipped, "He is probably his own biggest nemesis." I think the exact quote was, "Probably his biggest nemesis is himself." She, of course, is talking about her father, Vince McMahon. What do you think of that? Is Vince McMahon his own worst enemy at times, Jim?
At times, I can see that being said. I don't like to. I don't know if you say kick a guy when he's down because he's got more money than the good Lord should allow. But he can be his own worst enemy. He's very hard-headed, very stubborn, but he's also still very brilliant. And I just don't think we've heard the last of him in the pro wrestling space. I don't know where he's headed. I don't have any inside information, but I just think that he hasn't sung his last song.
We know that the story broke from Justin Barrasso, friend of the show. Shout out to him, when he revealed that Vince McMahon recently tried to purchase controlling interest of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. David Feldman, who is the founder and president of BKFC, confirmed that a meeting did in fact occur and that McMahon is resolute about a return to promoting. Quote, he's a great guy. His whole team is great, but the timing wasn't right for us. He's Vince McMahon. If I were him, I'd want creative control too. He was awesome, very complimentary, and he was very serious to do business. I think a lot of people have been pulling for BKFC's success, but I found this interesting, because there's lots of rumor and innuendo out there, Jim, that once upon a time, Vince almost bought the UFC, or maybe Shane liked the idea of buying the UFC. That didn't happen, but now maybe he's interested in bare knuckle fighting championships. What do you remember of the UFC talk way back when?
It was very serious, and Vince made more than just a casual offer. He was very, very engaged in buying the brand, and I think he would have done great. I think Shane had a lot to do with that whole involvement, I should say. So Shane was a big fan of the group, but Vince saw it as an opportunity, and he, not being one to turn down good opportunities, he put a lot of thought in it. I thought it was going to happen, quite frankly, at one point in time. Dana White just shows you how smart he is, because he didn't sell. And now look where the UFC is. It's one of the big brands in the world, sports brands. And I'm a big fan of the UFC. I'm a big fan of Dana White. But Vince had a definitive interest in it at one point in time, many moons ago. I think that ship had sailed. But in any event, now he's looking for other properties. And this one you just mentioned may be his next venture. Who knows?
Justin Barrasso, who many of you remember his name from Sports Illustrated, he's now doing his own thing. He has a Substack called Undisputed. You can just Google Justin Barrasso Undisputed Substack. It'll take you right there. But he's got a report out, Jim, that basically says, according to several executives in combat sports and pro wrestling, the belief is that Vince McMahon will ultimately find himself involved in professional wrestling again. And speaking with wrestlers off the record, there's a great deal of support for McMahon, as many note that he is still held in high regard. So listen, there's a question, or a concern rather, maybe, and maybe it's not a concern. Will Vince come back to wrestling? Will it be MMA? Will it be some other form of combat sports? Do you think Vince gets back into the promoting game somehow? And if so, would you bet combat sports or pro wrestling?
Well, he made his mark in pro wrestling, so I would say that would be my first inclination, that yes, pro wrestling will be another place for him to land. What happens, who the hell knows? It seems like that whole landscape changes daily, and but he certainly hasn't forgotten what he's learned. He's still brilliant. He's still got it, quite frankly. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I just think it's like an evolving door. When's it going to open up, and who's going to walk through, and where's it going to lead us? I think there's a lot of unanswered questions. But I don't think that he's done with pro wrestling, quite frankly. It's in his blood, Conrad. It's what he built. He's the godfather of that whole genre. So why wouldn't one assume that he's going to make another foray into that world?
We'll all stay tuned to see what's happening next with Vince. But I guess the question I want to ask now is, Jim, are you feeling up to us getting back on track with pods, or we're going to be doing our thing?
I hope so, Conrad. I've taken advantage of your patience enough. I'm running out of gas right here this morning. But stamina is my enemy right now. I just don't have a lot of gas in the tank. But I love catching up with you, and you're a great friend, and I'm always supportive of your ventures. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think my podcasting days are over whatsoever. So let's just hope that we can make it happen.
Stay tuned, boys and girls. We're going to try to be back next week and every week, and we're going to give you your JR fix. And we all have our fingers crossed that good old JR is going to get that hero's welcome when he makes his triumphant return Saturday, July 12th at AEW All-In. Fingers crossed, Jim. I want to see you there. I know the crowd's going to give you a huge reaction. Like, man, you want to talk about a comeback. That pop's going to make Triple H in January before the Rumble at MSG with the jean jacket. That's what you need. You got to get a leather jacket with like a little jean vest. Maybe borrow MJF's and come back, and we'll see.
It probably wouldn't fit me.
It might now. I mean, look at you, man. You're dropping LBs. I mean, you look great. You sound great. And I appreciate your patience today. We are so thankful that you guys hung around with us. I know we tried to do this yesterday. JR had an equipment malfunction, not the Blue Chew kind. We're in good shape there. A different kind, but we got it figured out today. Thank you for all the time today. You made a lot of people happy today just to see and hear you looking and sounding like you're supposed to look, man.
I appreciate you, Conrad. It's always fun to talk to the fans and interact with them. And they don't know how important they are to me. It's beyond words. So let's do it again.
We sure will. Stay tuned, boys and girls. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications bell. You don't want to miss us the next time we're live right here at grillingjr.com. And we'll see you next week right here at the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross.
Thanks, everybody. I love you.